Welcome back to the Busy Bee Chronicles. It's been a very busy month with my going on my first Alaskan cruise. I'm still working on editing those videos, but I wanted to interrupt that with an update about D23 because we are so close now and they have been providing so much more information this month. Now, I posted a video a little while back sharing my top tips for attending the D23 Expo based on my experience from the previous year, as well as a video about the reservation system for this year. So if you haven't seen those yet, they do give a little insight into the system and can help. But as with all things, there are new rules and procedures implemented every year. So be sure that you also thoroughly read the information provided about the event you are currently getting ready to attend, such as the event coming up in just a few days on August 9th through 11th, 2024. With that being said, I wanted to go over a few things just to try and remind people attending or help you out with all the info if this is new to you, because there is a lot of information to absorb. At this point, the reservation system has already passed and everyone should have received an email already with what reservations you obtained. I, for one, received 2 of my requested reservations and I'm happy to say that they were for 2 of my #1 choices. But I won't lie, out of an entire 3-day weekend and going through the effort of researching and reading all the descriptions and planning my schedule to make it work, it was disappointing to see only 2 reservations out of maybe 30 that were a possibility. Now, I absolutely knew that I would not receive everything requested, or possibly none of them at all. They were very clear, they let us know that from D23, and I shared that with everyone else as well. But I was hopeful that I would at least maybe be able to get 1 reservation for each day that I was attending the event. I'm thankful that I got what I got because I have seen some comments that people didn't receive anything at all, or they didn't work with their schedule because maybe they were attending events at the Honda Center and the things that they got for the convention center were at the same time. So I guess it's just a you get what you get kind of situation, and I'm going to be thankful that I at least got 2 of my top choices, even though I was hoping for more out of the whole weekend. I know some people said they even got just like 1 giveaway on the show floor. So I am thankful for what I got. I just wish that everybody would have maybe been able to get at least 1 thing each day that they were attending the event. In the email, it had a bullet point that said if you need to add, modify, or cancel your reservation before the event, to click the link provided starting August 6th. I don't really know what that will do for anyone because we already requested what we wanted and they gave us what we got. But who knows, maybe there are certain situations where they can accommodate people, so if that's something that you are interested in, or maybe it was because your schedule collided with the Honda Center, that would be something important to maybe notify them about and see if you could get it modified. So now, what about all the things that you wanted but you didn't get a reservation for? Well, that's where the standby queues come in. The reservation email says that standby queues will be available for presentations at the Anaheim Convention Center, event stages, Talent Central, and most show floor experiences. So most show floor experiences, meaning that not every show floor experience will have a standby line. But as far as I can tell, I couldn't see specified which ones that will be or not. So let me know in the comments, how many of your requested reservations did you receive, if any, and if they were your first choice or not. I'm curious what everybody got, and I'm hopeful that you got at least 1 thing that you really wanted. Okay, so as far as reminders and things that, since we're just a few days away, I think are really important to touch on, the first priority is the D23 app. Now, I discussed in previous videos that the virtual queues were to be found in the Disneyland app, so make sure that you have downloaded both. From what I've read, virtual queues for shopping will still be found in the Disneyland app and be treated as boarding groups, but there is a ton of other features to be utilized in the actual D23 app. I'm very happy so far with the D23 app this year. It has everything on it that you might need. There are maps of every floor of the Anaheim Convention Center, and all of the experiences are listed as well. You can even select your favorites and what you are choosing to attend, as well as if you want to set a notification for it and when you want that notification to come through. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature, and it's very convenient so that you can be reminded, because it's easy for things to slip by and forget stuff that you want to go check out, especially if you do need to get into more standby queues than you planned. So basically, download it now if you haven't already and start getting familiar with it. It's very user-friendly, and the only complicated thing about it is just that the event itself has so much to know. Every time I go back into it, I can't tell if they added something new or I just find something that I hadn't seen before, but that's a good problem to have. Now, speaking of virtual queues, this is very important. D23 actually provided specific details on how the queues will work, listed under virtual queues in the D23 app. It states that the virtual queue will be available for D23 Marketplace, Disney Studio Store Hollywood, Mickey's of Glendale, Mickey's of Glendale Pin Store, the Walt Disney Company Pin Store, and the Walt Disney Company Store. And if you're wondering which to choose because you don't know what is being sold in each one, that's exactly what I have been wondering. But under the shopping button in the app, you can click on each store and get a generalized version of what is offered at each location. If there's more specific merchandise listed, I've just seen it sporadically come out as a teaser on social media or something, but I haven't personally found much more than what there is in the app. So I'm guessing that we'll just find out about those specific merchandise items there, or maybe they'll slowly trickle them out, or I've just missed where they've been posted. It's also important to note that not every store will be available for virtual queue each day. Right now it says that Disney Studio Store Hollywood is for Friday and Saturday only, and Mickey's of Glendale is available Friday only. I interpret this as meaning that the store itself will be open each day of the event, but that those are the only days the virtual queue is available for the store. Not that it is the only day that those stores are open. But I think it's kind of open to interpretation and how it is worded, so I don't know. And an even more important update to the virtual queue this year is the time that you can get into the queue. It says that virtual queue opportunities will be available at 4 a.m. and 1 p.m. each day in the Disneyland app through the D23 app. And yes, you heard that right, 4 a.m. And if you check out all of the other info shared in the app, you can see that while you cannot camp out overnight anymore, you can technically start queuing at 4:30 a.m., even though the event entrances won't open until 5 a.m., and the event won't begin until 9 a.m. I'm regretting now that I don't drink coffee. Now that leads me to event policies, and those are very important so that you don't get any surprises. They're also very organized and easy to find in the app. At the very bottom of the homepage, if you click on Event Policies, or on the bar along the bottom, tap the info icon, it will take you to this screen. It covers everything from accessibility, show hours, and show times, to help in finding charging stations, bag check, and first aid. But down at the bottom are all of the policies, and I like that they categorize them to be easy to find and digest, since there is obviously a lot to know. Now, something that stood out to me was under Prohibited items. Prohibited items, they now list that you could not bring any chairs, stools, folding chairs, or similar items, regardless of size. So remember when I mentioned that a collapsible stool would be helpful? Nope, don't bring it. They are not allowed this year. Obviously there are exceptions such as walkers and wheelchairs, etc., but in general you can't just bring something for comfort. It has to be a necessary device or piece of equipment. It even states this year no pillows, blankets, inflatables, or sleeping bags. Another one that stood out to me because I like to bring my own food into the event is that you cannot have loose or dry ice. So I will probably try and bring some frozen water bottles as my ice packs because as they thaw, they don't make a mess, and you have some drinking water as well. There are also size restrictions on bags and strollers, so make sure that you check the items that you plan to bring with you and make sure that they do not exceed the dimensions that they provide. So we are almost there. I'm so excited. I hope to be able to get there in time to also go into Disneyland for D23 Day in the park. That looks like a lot of fun, but I just highly recommend becoming familiar with your D23 app, checking it for updates before you arrive, and also setting up the ability to check your email easily from a device that you'll have with you at the event in case they send any updates that way. So hopefully this was a helpful last-minute update or reminder just of some things that we have been given from D23 over the last week, and I'm super excited to go. I hope you're excited too, and thanks for buzzing by.